So for a young entrepreneur, sometimes they might not have the right connect, and especially if you're a female, it's very difficult to approach the right people and get your issues solved.
I still remember 14 years back, everyone was like, are you mad? Like physiotherapy, just do physiotherapy. Why would you want to add something different? What if it doesn't work? But I always felt that you should not marry to your business, because that is, our mentality. Whatever brand we make,
it's frustrating at times that, why can't they see that you also can be good at something that they are equally good at it.
Women has to not let it go thinking that, okay, if something has come up, I need to take a lead, because your husband is not.
But I think it's always the extra effort that you have to put in, which is not expected from men.
I've seen women who dress really formal and not show that feminine side at all. This is their way of, dealing. What do you do?
I think time management is other thing that you have to learn and you have to manage.
I think women are doing it all the time. We don't have any option. Welcome to Women's Social Corner. I'm Janvi, and today we are going to discuss a very interesting topic. It's about entrepreneurship. It's about how is the central government helping women-led startup. It's about who is our favorite politician. So we have a lot many questions, and to discuss this, I'll be sitting with GCCI entrepreneurs. GCCI is Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industries. And today I'm sitting with the members who are Prachi Patwari, Shumona Agarwal, Stuti Shah and Jalak Oza. They'll be discussing their own entrepreneur journeys and a lot more. So let's get the conversation going. Welcome to Women's Social Corner. And as you are all a part of GCCI, I just want to start with that question that what do you think, how is GCCI backing women entrepreneurs, and what's the kind of work that's done there, especially for women?
So GCCI is almost a 75 years old organization. So we have all kind of entrepreneurs who are well established, and they have reached at some, you can't even imagine that level. So we can directly connect with them. They can guide us also. So it is very good organizations to connect with, and we have special women committee also, where they give exposure to us to meet and do skill workshops and seminars. So that also help us to grow in our own businesses also.
And Shumona, you're leading the youth wing. So how is it working differently, or it is in alignment, with the bigger goal, or what are the other aspects that we are focusing on in GCC, especially for women?
So as a part of the youth wing, we work as a bridge between young entrepreneurs and the parent body. So what GCCI focuses a lot on is when a small business or a medium-sized business wants to make a representation to the government, or if they have certain issues that they are facing, you can make those representations through GCCI. So for a young entrepreneur, sometimes they might not have the right connect, and especially if you're a female, it's very difficult to approach the right people and get your issues solved. So that is where GCCI comes into play. It's a good platform where anybody is approachable, anybody can raise their issues, and you can help businesses in a lot of ways. And of course, it aids women in a lot of ways. As you may know, that the government provides a lot of subsidies and benefits, whether it is in terms of interest subsidies when you're taking loans, or whether it is when you're acquiring a property, you get subsidies on stamp duties and registrations. So a lot of times people are not aware of these benefits. Even for startups, women-led startups get a lot of subsidies and benefits, but sometimes people are not aware. So through GCCI, this awareness is spread, and that way people can make the most out of the advantages that the government is offering to women-led entrepreneurs.
And you briefly mentioned about, like, if entrepreneurs have any problem, then GCCI can be a bridge in having that negotiation with the government. But when it comes to startups, when it comes to women-led entrepreneurship, are there any problems that you may not see in your own work, but you see it around you?
I think first and foremost is the finance. And I feel that is one of the most important thing when you are starting up any small business or a big business. You need investors, right? So pitching that to your investors, you need that kind of people also, that, you wouldn't know if you're not exposed enough, you wouldn't know whom to go to. So I think this is GCCI, I feel, is one of the platform where you meet like-minded people. And then actually through them also, you get to meet right people. And it just opens a lot of channels.
But I think what GCCI has done is they've created a very rock solid platform which involves a lot of individuals from very diverse business backgrounds as well as social, and it provides you a direct access to a lot of government institutions and authorities, which makes your work very easy. So if you're stuck somewhere and you get a direct access to, say, all the government policies or whatever which you are not aware of, so that makes your work very easy and accessibility very easy. That's what I feel.
She also mentioned about government schemes. How is government supporting women entrepreneurs? I mean, you all don't work directly or not are direct beneficiaries, but can you think of anything which is done by Indian government or by Gujarat government which is really benefiting the entrepreneurs in general or especially women?
Yeah, so they have, I think, Her Start and We Start schemes for women entrepreneurs. So they can, in that name, they can apply for the subsidy, or, I think they get 60 lakhs or something for a startup for a women entrepreneurs. So they can apply, and Gujarat University and I have also, they have that incubator center over there. So there they help them to skill also and mentorship also, and then they guide them to further application for the subsidy and everything. So Gujarat government is really doing good for startups. Yeah.
Now coming to your entrepreneur journeys, if you would want to share any anecdotes, funny, bizarre, success, failure, anything from your journeys that you would want to share with our audience at large.
So I'll just share. So what I had created, like, it's been 14 years, okay? So being a physiotherapist, it was always a physiotherapy clinic. That was all these years, it was like that. And what I did was I added Pilates, which is a form of exercise, to physiotherapy. So when I introduced that kind of concept to my clients, to people around me, I still remember 14 years back, everyone was like, are you mad? Like, physiotherapy, just do physiotherapy. Why would you want to add something different? But I still remember everyone would have said that, don't do it. Why are you mixing? What if it doesn't work? But I always felt that if you don't try, how would you know that whether you will succeed or fail, right? So at that point, Pilates was very new. As a physio, we just used to know that, it helps in back pain. That was the only line which was in the book. But then when I explored, when I went to different cities, and then actually I went to US and Canada to learn, I actually felt that my patients can get that benefit. But those initial years, of course, everyone was like, why are you doing all this? Like, because no one knows what it's going to be like. So I feel that change, we shouldn't be scared of. It's okay. Like, if it doesn't work out, you can go back to physiotherapy. That was something which I had in my mind, that if it doesn't work. But now looking back at it, when people tell me that, how did you think about something like this 14 years back? And I'm like, it wasn't easy, because when everyone is like, are you sure?
I think a few years back, we were very traditional thinking in business also. Even in our house also, we can't just give idea like, we should start. We have very traditional thinking. Ye business start kiya hai to continue this only, expand in this only. But people were not ready to do something out of the box. This is the reason why all startups and all young entrepreneurs, they want to be a unicorn, because they feel no, any idea can reach any limit. So now I think that traditional business has changed.
And you also said a very important line just before the discussion started, that you should never marry your business. If you could explain that.
You should not marry to your business, because that is our mentality. Whatever brand we make, or whatever business warehouse also we make, we don't want to sell that off, and we don't want to move on. But for business, I think we should, because if you are not getting enough benefits from that, then you should either expand, or either you should change or diversify your product also. So you have to try. I don't think so you should stuck to that idea only.
True.
I think that's where the generational change has stemmed in. Yeah.
So I started my journey in my family business in real estate about 10 years ago. And initially when I joined, I did feel that, there was a major difference in how people treated males and how they've treated females. And obviously, when it comes to decision making, they always used to feel that males are the ones who are going to be the final decision makers. But I think over the years, in the last 10 years, I've seen a major transition. The mindset of people has changed. They do think, they've started respecting women a little bit more. Of course, I think how you put yourself forward and how good you are in your field also matters, but the mindset of the person sitting on the other side of the table has also changed. But still, I do agree that there is a drawback as well. Like, although, whether you see finance, you see real estate, you see IT, the number of women in the field, they've started increasing. But the women who go forward, they are also still women who either have a backing, they have a family business, or they have some kind of a backing. But if you look at company structures, you will still, in any real estate company in Ahmedabad, you will see very few female engineers. You'll see women in other departments, but very,
not in this one.
Yeah, and very few women who are leading the departments. They might have 20% women employees, but they will not be leading the departments.
So by saying this engineering thing, I remember my engineering days. So basically I have done civil engineering. At that time, nobody was doing, like very few girls are into civil engineering. So I was in DDIT, and one of my professor, I don't know, somehow it must be his thought process or whatever. He feels there should not be girls in the engineering only. So whenever his lecture was there, he never used to see us at all. He only make boys to study, and he even was not looking also to us. And he was like, in vivas or everything, he was like, you guys are wasting our seats, and you guys are, that was the mentality. I think it was in 2000. So, but now I don't think so. It is like that.
Even
but
Sudha Murthy saying,
yeah,
the same thing,
same
the
thing.
discrimination that she faced.
Yeah.
So I think 14 years back, I would say, I asked my dad if I could join him in his office, and he was very reluctant. So it was a trading thing, right? And he's like, I don't think you can work with other men, or I don't think it's safe for you. So I still insisted, and I went to his office for 6 months, and he did not teach me. He's like, hey, I don't think it is safe for you. He made me do tally, he made me do accounts, but nothing to do with the field work. But then if I see 14 years after it, now if I would have, at this point of time, in this time, if I would have asked him, it would not have been difficult for him to say a yes. Because with the change in time, with the change in attitude, I think his mind would also have changed by then, that it would be okay for a girl to be in trading.
So I think these are the incidents which are really common. I mean, people from different industries, but really common.
It's frustrating at times that, why can't they see that you also can be good at something that they are equally good at it.
But how do you change the situation? Like she was just mentioning that I'm very dominating, or that people wouldn't dare. So what are the traits that you consciously develop? I mean, I've seen women who would dress really formal and not show their feminine side at all. This is their way of dealing. But what do you do? Like, have you consciously worked on that?
I did. Like, I think I've never experienced, like, if someone has not taken me seriously, maybe because I'm extremely confident, and I think I have people around me who actually always motivates me also. But as a woman, I feel, because I have my team, 19 all are women, okay? So I see that when they discuss their things with you, so that not every family is like that. So somewhere I feel that women has to not let it go thinking that, okay, if something has come up, I need to take a leave, because your husband is not. So I feel you should be there also, but at the same time, you shouldn't neglect, like, completely, it's okay, I'll take a leave today. You come for work just few hours, but that shows your dedication towards your work also and towards your family also. So I very strongly, like, I motivate my physios and I tell them that, okay, so and so has happened, it's okay, you come for 4 hours. But you come, because that's how people are going to take you seriously. If you take holidays every other day, they feel that their work is not important, and they can just be home whenever they, have something come up. So I think all those things, and maybe because I've seen also in my family that, work is work, whether you are female or a male, work doesn't see that. So maybe you yourself also have to have those kind of, you have to develop that. And then if you are confident and if you're focused, what anyone is doing or saying will not even matter.
But I think it's always the extra effort that you have to put in, which is not expected from men.
You were sharing a simple example of an electrician, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they come home, they would want to talk or converse with a male member in the house, because thinking that they would know better or they would understand what they are trying to tell, and we don't know anything about anything. So yeah, that happens on a daily basis also, because their exposure probably is not as much as yours is. So you can't blame them, but that's how the society works.
Their lifestyle is very different. Their better half has to be at home because she has to do everything by herself. So we can't also blame them, right? She can't just leave the house. Otherwise, what will happen to their house or their kids? We are privileged, we can leave because we have all the facility at back door. So I think that bridge is going to be
it's about maybe education and exposure.
Yeah.
Because how much you're motivated, but if your family is not positive about it, you don't want to every day go back home and
you have to see your finances also, right?
Yeah. Coming back to this stories on entrepreneurship, that Gujarat is always known for entrepreneurship, but do you think that it is equally so much supportive of women entrepreneurs also? Like, is the idea of ecosystem same for both genders?
But I think in general, the state as well as the center have almost 100 schemes for women entrepreneurs. Different ways to help them, but the saddest part is that there is no awareness or advertisement of those things put forward, and I think people who actually deserve it don't get the benefit of it just because of lack of awareness.
Yeah. That is the, I think,
that
the
is
loophole.
Yeah.
True. Anything else that you would want to share on your leadership style? Because you are all leaders, you've all handled teams and people. So is there anything specific that you've learned by making mistakes that you would want to share it with other women?
like I was bad at delegation, to be very honest, when I started, because I started with a team of 2 to 3 and now like 19. So, and I'm very, everyone, right? You are very over particular, over perfectionist. If here or there it is, you are like, so there were days I couldn't sleep at night because I was like, oh my God, my physio would have done it right. Like, I'm talking about like initial years. But then I think as the years go, you learn. And a lot of my clients who were in that level of businesses, and they would always, I would always want to know their stories. And I think that delegation is something which I gradually learned, because see, like even my husband, he's into finance. So he's like, you can't have another stuti, okay? That is just not possible. But you need to make sure that your training has to be of that level that you can actually start trusting and delegating things to that person. So that was something which I felt, and that's how now we have 2 locations. So that's how now I can see the growth. Otherwise, it's not possible, right?
Otherwise, you won't be able to grow.
Growth
so delegation is
I think
big
also
time.
Women have trouble in becoming authoritative. So whenever you are asking somebody to do something, you'll always use the word, can you please get this? Can you please do this? But
because
on the
that
other
is
hand,
what you've seen, and that is what you're made to believe, that you are supposed to be like that, I think.
So I think that we have to be more authoritative of the kind of work.
At least where we need to be.
I think time management is other thing that you have to learn and you have to manage.
And I think women are doing it all the time. You don't have any option.
But if we want to do everything, we want to work also and house also, then we have to do it. Because that is, we are made for that, and that is traditional thinking, but still you have to do it. Whether you are modern or not, you have to manage. So you have to manage time also to do both the thing. Men have that option, but we don't, and we have to accept that. Then only our house will be at a proper place. That is never going to change.
And it is changing, I feel.
No, it's not changing.
Changing.
Like, you only can be a mother. So it is like that. A few things you have to do it.
Absolutely.
You can
agree.
So,
They are
much better.
They just need to believe that they don't have that instinct, but they.
So I am not talking about day-to-day work or any work that we are only doing, and they are doing it everything. But I'm just saying that the men and women, it is a 2 separate, different identity. So that way we have to do extra only. We cannot run off.
I think it's everyone's experiences can be really different. And but she talked about change, and I think that for women's entrepreneurship, especially if you want to bring change, then policies have to change. And for policies, there are politicians who are in control. Now, this is a question out of syllabus, but I would want to ask you people that is there any politician, or is there someone from the government that you really admire for the kind of work he or she has done, like not just for entrepreneurship, but for people in general. Like, generally your work might not directly relate to anything in politics, but if you want to take your time.
That's a very difficult question because we have very few females who are into it. But I think our president and if you see Indira Gandhi, there have been very few, but you need to take what you can take out of it. It's very personal for everybody.
So it's fine if you pick up a female politician, but you can also pick up someone from any gender, because like to give you an example of, say, Nitin Gadkari, like he is, from the ruling party, but the kind of work he has done impacts our life positively, whether you are male, female, rural, or staying in urban. So if you want to generally pick up anyone who you think has done good work.
For me, I think Jawaharlal Nehru. There are a lot of negatives which are being spoken of, but be it education or be it the open-mindedness that he had, you don't see that anymore in the current politicians. So I think I take what I find best, which resonates with me. So for me, it's him,
But I think whatever said and done, where we are right now, all these years, like if you just see India is at a different level, like whatever that negative, and I'm like, just see where we are, like all this, what has happened has taken us.
And going off of politics, so I think few of us, we had attended Vibrant last year, Vibrant Gujarat, and now even in Vibrant Gujarat, they've started recognizing female entrepreneurs. So one of the speakers over there was Ms. Pabiben Rabari, who has started an international e-commerce platform. I think she's based out of Kutch and she's uneducated, and she's done this. So now even the government has started realizing the importance of recognizing female entrepreneurs because they see the potential now. So they're doing a lot of things to inspire people as well.
True. So anyone who wants to pick up anyone and like share some
think all are doing their part of work, I think.
Diplomacy is a speak, but otherwise when I go to GCCI, even they are inviting our foreign minister, and it's very like active when it comes to the politicians also. But I get your stand. Tell me, like when it comes to women entrepreneurs, is there anyone who's really inspired you, be it in Gujarat or outside, whose work you've seen and you felt very inspired?
I think for me, it is just the women around me. They are the biggest inspiration, because the way we juggle all the responsibilities or all the expectations that are put on us, managing the house, kids, the in-laws, the work, everything. I think there's something different to learn from everybody around you.
We can admire each other.
I think
so. Being a part of GCCI, we are surrounded by empowered women, and that actually shows us the strength of women in Gujarat. So that keeps inspiring us, because we keep learning from each other. And if if I feel I'm doing so much, I'll see somebody else doing more than me.
And now that entrepreneurship is also changing quickly, in the sense like we on and off talk a lot about AI. Do you think in your field of work, is there any way it can impact in future? Now, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's too initial phase, but I feel that we need to start adapting to it. It's going to be the new era. And like right now, I'll just give you a very small example. I like to manage a lot of my social media myself, because a lot of things, what I want to put it up, it's very direct from me. So when I am creating the content for it, I've started using, and I find that my time used to be so much before, and right now it makes me, of course you have to send a lot of right prompts and all of that, but I'm learning, and I feel it's making it so easier, like, so I feel I really like.
Even I have started learning and using also.
I think the human interaction will probably reduce in the future. A lot of customer facing things right now that's happening through human interaction, that might happen through AI in the future.
But the
It's also a
question
way
is,
of
is
concern.
that satisfactory? I mean, you would want to hear a human
No,
on the
I
other
think no. I would always
She
want
is
that
not
human
interested.
touch. No,
Oh,
I would
okay.
always
You
want
want
that
the
human
human
touch.
touch.
But it makes a lot of other things easier. But at the same time, you'll have to be very sane to not just give everything to that. You will have to understand that at the end of the day, what I can give my client, even I create a robot, it's not possible. Like, it's just not possible. So I don't think it will ever take the human touch away, even if they're saying that, okay, it's gonna. I don't think so.
And I think in India we have so much population. We
Yeah.
don't need to
We can't
worry
afford
about.
to
We
do
can't
that.
afford to do that. So
But that's
we,
also going to towards
Yeah.
unemployment.
Yes.
Yeah.
But at least I feel that people would be more hardworking and disciplined.
If this happens.
Yeah.
because
would
discipline
hope
is the
so.
one thing we need
Yeah.
to
Inculcate.
inculcate more.
Especially, yeah.
I don't know why, but we need, like, it's very
I think in
simple
Gujarat
to-
also we are like that. We
Yeah.
are very
Very laid back. Yeah.
yes, true. If we give time of 7, then people will think we have to reach at 8. But why? People invited you at 7. You should try to be there at
Exactly.
7:30.
But the day starts at 11. I mean, you are
Yeah.
losing out on the most productive time of the day.
Yeah.
Coming back to Shumona, what you said, you spoke about real estate industry, which is very unusual because we don't see a lot of women in this industry. Tell me about your experience, or if you would want to share any incident of, how do you navigate in this industry, which is...
I think being in a male dominant society, women face two challenges. One is being accepted internally, and the other is being accepted externally. So I think both things, it's how you navigate through it. Of course, patience is the key, the first thing. And the second thing is self-confidence. I think that changes a lot of things. So especially, if you want other people to accept you, first you need to accept yourself in that position. And when that happens, it takes time, but eventually things fall in place. I have, realized one thing, that as women, you can't change the way other people think, but you can only change the way you think.
But is there any incident? Because you might have so many stories to share. If you could, pick up one for us, because it would be really interesting to get insights into, how is your day-to-day life?
So I think there are unlimited incidents, when you are sitting across a table with a client and finally, you've done a lot of negotiation, you've done everything, and finally the last thing that comes is, okay, but you go and consult the final decision maker. So it's a very common
Or
practice
maybe
that
they
happens.
directly call to,
Somebody else, because they think, you being a woman, you are not going to be the decision maker.
True. Yeah, I think this has happened to all of us. I can already think of incidents from my life
I
also.
think instead of the system, the thought process needs to change.
Yes.
Yeah.
True. So I have one son and one daughter. So daughter is younger. She cannot take it this at all. If someone says in the house, "Ke Ashvi, get us water or something," then she will like, "You always tell me only. Why you guys don't tell to, Arush or Bhai?" So it is not like we don't want to tell him, but I live in a joint family, so I think it is in our program only, DNA. So that will take lot of time to change.
But is it difficult to make your place when you are coming from a joint family sort of business also? Because, there are already so many people who have run the business for so long, and then you're entering it. How does that work?
Same, like Shumona said, initially they don't accept it as a decision maker. So we were like initially we were like a trainee, or maybe gradually they give us a few things. Then we have to show our confidence and ability that we can do it.
Okay.
Then gradually they will give us. In family business, definitely you have to show your strength and your ability. Then only you will get that post to run as a woman, not as a man.
And this was regarding your business. When you interact with other women, what are the challenges do you think, that needs to be addressed? Is there anything of that sort?
I feel
Especially when it
that-
comes to the startups.
I think any family or male oriented or whatever, they're always scared to invest in businesses which are led by women. Maybe when I think about myself, I think there are very few families who would actually invest in their daughter-in-law's businesses, or who would invest in their daughter's business, because they feel that they'll get married then they'll start a family. So they feel that maybe women is not going to take this seriously. And for them, they feel it's a passion project. I see that with a lot of my friends, I've seen it. Okay, they are amazing. Everything is amazing. They have that financial background also. I think, I don't know, people are scared. And even I'm like, parents are also scared. And that has to change. And it's changing also.
Was that your story when you wanted seed capital for your own?
So I think, to be very honest, my parents and my in-laws both invested, because at the end of the day, like, of course, where would I have like lakhs and crores of money, man? Like, you know, when you are setting up, though I worked for 5 years before I started a setup, but it was a very strong call for both of them to invest. Like, see, parents still would, but to in-laws to invest in the business is not a small thing. But I think that's what I'm saying, that the families are changing. And I'm very strong. I'm very like, I can actually show people, okay, this is what I want to do and I'm going to do it. So I think women has to change. Women can't be like soft.
But one thing I feel, I don't know it is true or not, because I am so in family business, so there is no different balance sheet or something. But female is doing her own business, then that thing, she keeps it separately.
Yeah.
You know, that's
my income.
Yeah. So how can you ask equal? You know, it is true.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. So in US or in out of India, they keep their contribution equal.
Yeah.
In India, we don't. And we want equal part. That should not work.
That's our own hypocrisy.
That we also have to
you
change.
know, don't take financial responsibility.
Yeah. Though we are earning, then also. So then we have to allow them to do little extra than us. Otherwise, we have to change. We have to do it equally. Everything.
We can't be having both the things.
We can't have it. Because I don't feel that way it doesn't work.
But I know somebody who is paying her share of it.
Yeah,
And
in job community, they do
not
it.
job community, own business, everything. But still there is a comparison of the girl putting in equal amount of time, but then it's like, you know, it's compared to she's not giving time to the house or the in-laws or whatever it is. So that extra expectation out of a woman, so that support is very important, I feel.
Yeah. But I think women are a little too emotional also, which men are not. You tell a man, you didn't come to this event, they don't even care. But if you tell to women you couldn't make it, that women would have in her head for a few days.
But
So
that is how we've
women tend to be more
even
sensitive.
the men want to be emotional, but they are not. They think it's a taboo. They should not be showing their emotions.
They don't care for smaller things. We
Yeah.
actually
True.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
thinking process is very different, and that we can't change.
But I think that's why we need more women in decision making, because we need the emotional side also.
Then only we will,
you know,
completely change.
whether it is politics or policies or.
Yeah.
But wherever there are women in decision-making positions, their eye for detail is much better than men. Yeah.
I think that's our specialty which we bring to the table. But here I would want to go back to what her point, when she talked about investment and you know how that's still a challenge. What are your thoughts? Have you experienced it any way?
So I think we are in a very privileged section of people or family that we do not need to struggle to get that. So it would not be fair for me to comment on it, but there is another entire section of women who do not have that access.
No, but I agree with her. So I feel that, see, fortunately, I've been fortunate enough not to have any males in my generation. But if you look at any family business, when there is a brother and a sister, a brother is always given priority in a family business. So that difference is definitely there in all families.
So if I say I can't give that thing to my children, so then it will be changed. I cannot say okay, I will give more importance to my son and not my daughter. So maybe after generations this will change, but we have to face it. That is true.
But I think this generation, our generation, is also making a conscious effort that we don't pass that down to the
so we
next
are also
generation.
ready for that. We are okay
absolutely
to accept that also.
So here, I would want to add this point of, you know, women and investment. I always look forward to Elaben Bhatt, who passed away, but
Yeah.
you know, the legacy she created with Seva Bank. Like, if you want to start a lari of Pani Puri, then she will give a 20,000, 30,000 loan to women, you know, so that they can get into
They can.
entrepreneurship. And I think that it's like a soft revolution
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
you know, that she brought. And up next, coming to you, talked about the younger generation also. Have you interacted with Gen Z people, and you know, how do you see their kind? Because they're getting into entrepreneurship way ahead than we all thought about. Like, do you? What are your thoughts on them?
So from what I see is there is no, they are very active, they want to do things. There is no long or future planning. Everything is very short visioned.
Yeah.
That is the only negative that I see. Otherwise, they are very hands-on, they want to do things, and they are very non-attached to things. So that works very well with your work. But I think that's the only negative that I see, that their vision is very short-term.
True. Just recently, I was reading an article where they said that we will not, the companies posting that we will not hire Gen Z people. But Gen Zs are already starting their own venture, so that's not, yeah, but anyone who wants to share thoughts.
I deal with a lot of Gen Zs as a client and as my team. I think I'll talk about a little bit negative point first, which I feel they are little relaxed, which we were not when we were a part of an organization, or when I was also an employee at a certain time in life. I know that how serious I was. They're a little relaxed, they're a little chill. They want to enjoy their life, which is a good thing, I feel. That is one thing. But if you see the positive side, they're really hardworking, actually. They don't think about like 7-8 hours. They'll work till 10 hours also. So that is something which I feel that, you know, maybe because I can see my old team, my new team, and when I see that, I think they are focused. Only thing is, little discipline is little bit here and there, maybe because they just feel that it's okay, no, 15 minute mein kya hota hai?
Or I don't know, they'll be ready for any setback in life, I feel. We are trained like that. We have seen everything. Not in only our life, our friends' life, or our parents' life, or anywhere. I don't know how they will take it. If they have to face any that kind of challenge or any setback, financially or relationship or in anything, I don't know how they can manage.
I think we've had a very balanced life, as in we've got to experience our ups also, downs also. But this generation, the parents are so overprotective. They have not seen anything negative. So when they go out in the society and when the reality strikes, it is very difficult for them to handle it. We can blame them,
we can't even imagine how they will take it. That time will only
tell.
How
hoping for the best.
best.
And one of a few last questions. I would say that when it comes to policies around women, what do you think one thing that needs to be changed? I'll give you some examples to make it easier. Like say policies around menstrual leaves, or policies around having proper childcare in offices, or any policies around women, which, or say paternal leave, which will also make women's job easier. Is there anything specific that you think that needs to be changed? Yes, शायद ये दूसरे countries में है, हमारे यहाँ नहीं है. You know, any such thing?
I think when a woman gets pregnant, I think first, if everything goes well, till 9th month, they're usually working, right? But here I feel I don't think we have right structure where they can work till 9th month, then they can deliver, and then they can come to work with the baby, which is there outside. Like when you are, you know, the childcare centers and all, but the offices should have it in their building because it makes it so easier for a woman to go back to work, and you don't have to keep searching for new person for that job.
But I feel a lot of buildings are offering
Very
daycares,
few.
but they're not
Very
being
few.
used.
They're not.
Not very daycare. There are a lot of businesses who have, a few businesses who have started doing that, have specific spaces for women who have like newborn kids to keep them, attend to them while working. So that is, I think, a very good change.
But it's very, still,
it's very new.
Not,
it's very new.
Like
it's very new.
Not even
Absolutely.
1%, I see
very
that.
new.
So I think if that changes, then the whole concept of after marriage, whether the person is going to work, not work after baby work, not work, will change.
No, but is there anything else? Like, there's one point that you raised. Is there any other policy? Because women's safety, or it can be anything that needs to be looked
Gujarat,
upon.
I think, is very
In
good
Gujarat,
when it
we
comes
are,
to women's
so
safety.
We never thought of this kind of
Yeah.
thing. We don't have to.
But this was
We are
a good
lucky.
one, the menstrual leave. I think my physios always ask, and I'm like, okay, you're not feeling well? Okay, reschedule your clients and someone else and go. Because see, one person might be all good in those days, but other person, what that person is going through, we have no idea. Every woman has a different. I think that's actually something which can.
But again, menstrual leave is also a very debatable topic where women are also saying ki nahi dena chahiye.
Nahi dena chahiye.
But here, what do you think? Like you say, we should give. What do you think?
It should be balanced. I feel as a employee, I should not take advantage of
Exactly.
Yeah, the problem is you can give it, or at least in
getting.
certain industries, you can allow work for home from for 2 days. But the problem is that the work ethics people exploit these policies.
Exactly.
Yeah. So in India, we have to work on that also.
Lastly, just the last question. Anything else that you would want to add, or anything that you would want to add about your work, or a message that you would want to give? Just the concluding remark. Yeah, I'm not asking any more questions.
As a GCCI, I would ask people to. I think they should be a member of GCCI.
Wow.
Because you'll get a lot of benefits, and I think it will be helpful for their entrepreneurship journey.
GCCI has the right people on board. I know for sure.
From all of us.
Yes, because we all are from GCCI, so we can say that.
No, it's a very good platform, not just because we are, like, a lot of times people ask me, what business you got from GCCI? And I'm like, that's secondary. First, the people you meet there, you don't meet otherwise, I feel.
But there's so many platforms like BNI or CII, like
Still,
They're very commercial, I feel.
I think you leave after some
And
time.
I disagree. There might be a lot of platforms, but they don't offer the same access that GCCI does.
Exactly. So GCC and government works like hand in hand. So that is the biggest benefit you get from GCC.
So last year we visited President of India from GCCI. So all those, you cannot just directly to go and talk to her like that.
And you never know what clicks, right? Like you met someone and maybe you were stuck somewhere and you talked to someone and that someone got you connected with the other person and it just changes everything. So yeah, that's one of the reasons.
And talking about women empowerment in GCCI is also taking a lot of measures to increase the number of female chairmen in GCCI, also the number of seats that are given to women in the executive committee. So the presence of women in GCCI is also increasing a lot over the years.
I think we are all here because
GCCI. So thank you for giving that concluding remark. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you enjoy the coffees and for more such discussions.
Thank you so much for having us.
And for more conversations, keep watching Women's Social Corner. Thank you.
Yes, definitely.